Welcome back to the Sportsmax Zone. Double Olympic sprint champion Elaine Thompson-Herah is on the 10-strong shortlist for the World Female Athlete of the Year award. She's the only Jamaican on either the male or female list. Thompson-Herah was undefeated in 7 100-meter races this season and will finish the year as the quickest woman for 2020. The 28-year-old closed the season in style, winning the 100 meters at the Doha Diamond League meeting in 10.87. That was on September 25. That performance followed her world-leading 10.85 seconds a week earlier at the Diamond League meeting in Rome. To talk about her chances of winning the award, who better than senior writer at Sportsmax.tv, the man who is in his Liverpool shirt because Diogo Jota gave him a hat-trick today, is Leighton Levy. El Senor, you're on TV. Who are you admonishing? We caught you. There you go. Leighton, Elaine Thompson-Herah has been flying in what has been a very, very strange season for track and field interests and athletes. Discuss with us why she should win Female Athlete of the Year 2020.
I can't give you a reason why she should win, George, because there are 4 reasons why she can't win. And those reasons are Gide, Hassan, Jepchirchir, and Rojas. All 4 women this year have set world records in their respective events. And Elaine Thompson having a world lead of 1085 is fantastic. 1085, 1087, and of course running unbeaten during the course of this very confusing and perplexing season for short sprinters, because they didn't get much of an opportunity to do anything much on the Diamond League circuit. You remember, most of Elaine Thompson's wins came at some local meets here in Jamaica. Of course, times were ratified, but 2 Diamond League meets, 1085, 1087, makes it a very good year for her. But when you consider that she's up against a bunch of women who, in the little opportunity they got this year, set world records in their respective events, you can't see how she's going to advance to the next cut from, I think it comes down to 4. I don't see her advancing along the way because of just the quality of performances that these other 4 women put in this year.
Very good point, and an excellent premise for us to continue the discussion, because you're effectively saying that there are 4 women who've beaten the record books, while Elaine Thompson-Herah has been better than the competition. So 2 different dynamics to consider there. But if we are to look at what she has done, you made the important point that she did a lot of those 7 100-meter wins came at home in local meets, although the times were ratified official. But when she went to the Diamond League stage, she showed that what she did at the National Stadium in Kingston at those local meets was no fluke, and that really she was the hot stepping woman for the 100 meters. So is she on the list, you would say, legitimately? Or is that, you think that, well, all right, someone said, why not put Elaine Thompson-Herah and stretch the list to 10?
No, when you look at what Elaine Thompson has done this year, 7 races, 7 undefeated, of course, world leading time. In any year, that would be an outstanding season for any sprinter. The thing is, and I'll go back to the original point. I mean, but before I even get there, when you look at the fact that, okay, she went to the Diamond League meets, and of course, she beat the best of who were available, because you remember, not everyone was able to travel as freely as they would normally have been. So she beat the best of who was out there, and that was a pretty solid field as well, because you're looking at former World Championship and Olympic finalists who she lined up against in the 2 Diamond League meetings. She was miles ahead of the field, and so the nomination is a reflection of the acknowledgement of that performance. But that's as far as it goes, as far as I see it, because while she is acknowledged for a very strong body of work this year that included a world-leading time, she is up against women who, in those similar circumstances, took their respective records to a brand new level. When you look at, for example, Hassan, who she set a European record, and of course she set a world record in the rarely run 1-hour race. Of course, Gide, the world record in the 5,000 meters. Chepchirchir, she has, I think she set 2 world records this year. She twice broke the world record for the half marathon, and of course, she won the world half marathon as well. So, those performances, and then of course, Yolimar Rojas from Venezuela, who set the world indoor record this year in the triple jump, 50 meters 43. Those are standards that will go down in the history books as the standard for 2020. Because those are the records that now will be chased by whoever for the next few years, whenever those records are broken again. Elaine Thompson ran 1085, which is well below her personal best, well above her personal best of 1070. The world record, of course, is not going to be challenged. 1049 is not going to be challenged in our lifetimes, I don't believe. So that works against her in that regard. If the world record was 1085 and she equaled the world record, I think she probably would have been in the conversation to move forward. But these other women that I just spoke about, they were just outstanding this year. When you consider that Femke Ball, for example, she went unbeaten in the 400-meter hurdles this year, but 53.79 in the 400-meter hurdles in an era when the world record is 52.17. It's not going to wash, but it is a recognition of the work that she put in this year under the challenging circumstances that most athletes found themselves under in 2020.
Definitely, Leighton. Can you give us a breakdown of how the voting process will go, and of course, when the winner will be announced?
I'm not sure, to be honest. What I do know is that from here, a lot of public voting is going to weigh in on the athletes who go forward. But that only counts for, I think, 25% of the weight of the votes going forward. There's a panel of judges that will then select the best athletes to move forward. And then from there's a voting again, and then the eventual winner is announced. I'm not sure of what the date is, but it's sometime before the end of the year, I would believe.
Leighton, I just want to ask one question. When I watched the Diamond League race in Doha when Elaine won. I had to convince myself I was actually watching a Diamond League race. I mean, it was so low-key. There's not much happening in track and field this year. Are you surprised that the IAAF would still go ahead and have a ceremony to acknowledge and award all these athletes when it has been almost like 2020 was not a year for track and field?
Well, look, the season, like every other sport, track and field was significantly impacted. But then when competition finally resumed, there were a lot of outstanding performances this year. Yeah, they were low-key because for the most part, there weren't crowds inside the stadium. And of course, the energy around the sport was not as people would have expected it to be. When you look at, for example, Karsten Warholm, who ran 4 of the 10 fastest times ever over 400-meter hurdles this year, including just missing out on the world record. When you look at the world records that were set by the women, when you look at, for example, what Noah Lyles and some of the other Americans did in their respective events, in meets that were low-key primarily because, as I said, there were no crowds, and of course, the energy and the uncertainty around the sport kind of took away from the energy of the sport in 2020. But there were enough events this year, and there was enough competition this year, I believe, to warrant Athlete of the Year, because there were some very outstanding performances this year, and they should not be overlooked.
I want to ask, sorry to interrupt, just one quick question. I mean, it's almost like they were just looking for stuff, because if they're going to use some of, I think, 7 of our races, Elaine races, or 6 that local races that she does development meets, and they're going to use those to add to her best, maybe 8 performances in terms of time, to put her actually with amongst those names. That tells you that there just weren't enough races for them to really select various teams.
I mean, in some instances, but you can't. The Velocity Fest meets to have a high quality win. I mean, when you look at the fact that Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price ran some outstanding times, Tashia Gale jumped 8 meters at a couple of the meets. They were low-key, yes, because there were only a few athletes competing because of one reason or the other. Some were fearing to travel, some were restricted from competing because they weren't ready, because the training programs were altered to accommodate for the season.
Yes.
So what it is basically that, so the meets had to count, because despite the fact that they were low-key, they were still of fairly high quality.
Yeah, hear you on that. Leighton, thank you very much. 5-0, congratulations to Liverpool on this day, and keep the train rolling. There you go.
Thank you very much.
3 times. All the best to you. See the right here at Sportsmax.tv. Leighton Levy as we break.